Yeah, Kevin, I think it's been like 5 games since you put Mawat Mag into the starting lineup. Obviously, it's really paying dividends. What went into that kind of decision to make that change?
Just trying to find ways to put our guys in a position where they can you shut that door in a position to just give them the best chance to be successful. So there was a lot that went into that one. We just felt like Mag's intensity defensively kind of gave us some better matchups to start the game. Trying to also find ways for Cannon to find more shots potentially coming off the bench, which some games has been good, some games hasn't. But I think Mag's experience has really kind of insulated that starting group pretty well.
And then, I mean, it was a great win the other night, but the free throw issues kind of raised their ugly heads again. Is that something that you just don't talk about and you just kind of improve, or is there things you can do to get that percentage up?
Yeah, I mean, we try to put our guys in mimic pressure situations in practice to be able to make it as game like as we can. We got to be able to step up and knock them down. So it's something that we're continuing to try to work on.
All right, Mitch, we'll go with you.
Kevin, at the midway point of Big 12 play, what do you believe is the strength of your team right now and an area that you want to continue to see growth?
I think we're finding our way offensively. I think consistently our pace is improved a lot, over the last 4 or 5 games. I think we're finding some rhythm there. I think we're offensively, identity-wise, we're trending in the right direction. I think defensively we're continuing to, explore, matchups, explore coverages, explore, how much we want to just keep Mawut on certain guys versus switching like, we do a lot of. So, those are areas we're continuing to improve upon. And then lastly, just as we've made some lineup changes, that has an impact oftentimes on kind of, who's in at the end of the game. So just having a clarity of exactly what we want to do in the game or walk down, as I call crunch time type offensive sets and things like that. So that's where I'm spending a lot of my mental bandwidth.
And when you bring up the defensive side, what challenges does Arizona's Caleb Love pose for you guys in this matchup? He seems to be having a lot of success as of late.
Yeah, I mean, he's an electric player, very experienced. He's a guy that can, erupt for 30 on any given night, an explosive scorer, and they give him a lot of freedom. And he'll put a challenge on us collectively. It's not just one guy. We got to do a job on him and try to, not limit his his shot attempts, but I just think trying to make everything difficult for him. I think that's the best way to try to disrupt very good scorers, is just try to make them really have to work super hard for everything that they get.
All right, we'll go Kevin, Matt, and then Sam.
Coach, Arizona's Biggs, Vassar, and Carter Bryant. How are you planning on what's the game plan for those guys?
I mean, the big thing with it's not just those two; it's Owaku as well. I mean, trying to keep really the Vassar and him off the glass as much as possible. I mean, they do a tremendous job of rebounding. They're both really big, and they run a lot of stuff where they're ducking in at the rim and trying to impose their physicality and their will. So we got to meet the challenge first. I think doing your work early is imperative. Having a certain level of physicality is going to be imperative. With Bryant, he's more of a stretch four. He's playing really well as of late. Trying to neutralize him from three, and make him beat you doing something else.
And then with Richie and Mag both playing together in the starting lineup, what about those two specifically allows you to do the things you do on offense and defense?
I mean, defensively, I think the level of intensity that they play with complements each other extremely well. We found some rhythm with being able to kind of do certain things with when those two guys are in action specifically together that maybe we wouldn't do with other pairings. So it gives us a little bit of versatility there. And then, offensively, I think Richie's obviously having a heck of a year, and really I think our style of play combined with his strengths has really been we've kind of been a great pairing there. I think it's just been a great fit. And then in terms of Mawut's offensive contributions, I think he's really buying into how we're playing. I think he's stripped away a lot of some of the inefficient shots he was taking early on, where he's really streamlined things in terms of attacking the rim. I know he had 19 points last game, but him having 5 assists I thought was big too. His ability to put it on the deck, get to the paint, play off 2 feet, and kick it out for shots was a really good sight for me.
All right, Matt, Sam, and Bruce.
Specific to late game stuff, Coach, would you say it's the lineup combinations that you've identified that have led to greater success in these tight moments at the end of games, or would you attribute that to something else?
Shout out to the treadmill, first of all. Second of all, I don't know if it's a lineup combination. I do think we're more tied together defensively, where we've been able to get some pretty good defensive stops that allowed us to get out and transition even in crunch time. I think just the familiarity with the guys playing together a little bit more has really helped in that respect. But again, I mean, I still don't have the comfort I need to as it relates to being able to walk a game down, making sure we're pushing all the right buttons, particularly on the fly. I think coming out of timeouts, we've been really organized, but being able to execute things that we want to execute without a timeout is an area we need to continue to explore and continue to just make sure we're putting the guys in the right positions.
With the tip time being so late tomorrow, does that change preparation? Just trying to stay ready for a 9 p.m. tip?
Not really. I mean, I think it is what it is. I mean, I do kind of like the tip times varying just because it kind of think it gets you ready for the postseason. Anything can happen there. So we've had a myriad of different start times, so our guys will be ready to go.
All right, we'll go Sam, Bruce, and then we'll end with Mitch.
Coach, right now BYU is kind of on the bubble in a lot of the latest bracketology predictions. Is that something that you keep up with and the team keeps up with?
I just brought that up this morning in our coaches meeting. Not really. I mean, I look at it from time to time, but we really do just try to go, one game at a time and just win the next game that's in front of us that served us well. And hopefully we stack up enough wins to, put ourselves in the tournament. But obviously, I'm aware, and I do say to the guys that, we have work to do. We don't get into the nuts and bolts of what that looks like. But, I think our guys are smart enough to know that we got to continue to play good basketball and win games.
And then Trey Stewart played 8 minutes this last game. When games get more physical in the future, is that something that you plan on doing, is putting Trey Stewart in the game?
I mean, I have a lot of trust in Trey's ability to come in and guard. He does a heck of a job in practice. He's gotten the short end of the stick in a lot of ways, and he's been an absolute stud. I've tried to communicate with him, let him know I know the role he's in is not easy, and he's been a class act. He's been really helps us get better every day in practice, and I know I can call his number to come in and provide some defensive energy for us, whether that's foul trouble, whether that's matchup centric. So, I think he's definitely a guy that we have in our holster that we can, employ if we need to.
All right, Bruce, then Mitch, your last one.
Yeah, Kevin, hi. I'm from Tucson, actually, and I may have missed it at the beginning, but I was just curious your general thoughts on this game, playing Arizona. They've been on kind of a roll. They just got rained today. Is that kind of a good thing maybe to catch them at a moment like this at your place, or how do you feel about it in general?
I don't put too much stock into a good time to catch any team. I mean, they're a really good team. Tommy does a heck of a job. Very experienced, knows what he's doing. They're very organized. They play really hard. They have a clear identity. So I'm just looking forward to, a good basketball game against a good team. I think our guys our confidence is growing as we've continued to win basketball games in this league in particular. And, I think this will be a really good basketball game.
Okay. And if I could ask you, I know you talked to this probably with your guys a lot up there, but how has the adjustment gone for you? Obviously, you were in college. I know years ago you had some experience, but all these years, G League, NBA, et cetera, and then coming in, how is the season compared to you? What struck you about what's different about the season, and how does that maybe compare to how you had to jump in and deal with the portal and all that?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of differences for sure. The recruiting stuff, I hired a great staff that kind of helped me navigate that. That's something that we've, hasn't been as daunting as I thought it would be coming into it. I think just the less games, more practice, that took me a while to really get a grip on. I mean, honestly, I woke up today and was like, man, we have 10 games left. Like, that's crazy just compared to what I was used to. I told my wife that, and she's like, what are you – like, it's just we're just used to just it going on forever. And so I like that because it just turns the intensity up. Like, every game is super intense. I love that part about it. It just makes it more fun. And just, being able to spend a little bit more time on each opponent, I've enjoyed that as well. So, I mean, I could go on and on. There's a tons of differences. The style of play is completely different. A lot of these things have taken me a while to adjust to. And, I'm learning new stuff every day.
And one final thing about the recruiting, you have the staff. Does it compare now a little bit to the pros in the sense that when you're dealing with recruiting and the portal, there's agents now, and different things to deal with like that? Or is it still like completely different?
I mean, and I've said this before, but like for me, I don't know the old way. Like, this is the only way I know. So yeah. I like it. I think it's great. I think it's very similar to like what I've done in my past coaching stops as it relates to relationships and who you have to talk to get things done. I mean, we run our organization very much like an NBA team where we kind of have a front office. We got the coaching side. We have the performance side. So a lot of the things I learned in the NBA as it relates to how to run an organization have helped me tremendously in this transition.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
All right, Mitch, coach has got about 2 more minutes. You're up.
Yeah, Kevin, just to follow up, you talked a lot how this is all you've known. So this 20-game schedule, how so much is made about it being a gauntlet, buzzsaw, whatever word you want to use. How is your team holding up physically? How do you feel like they've kind of navigated all of this stretch at the midway point of league play?
Yeah, good. I think we do. Our strength coach Michael Davey, they have a pretty dialed-in approach to, with our sports science and how we're able to keep an eye on the load metrics and not trying to wear our guys down. So I'm really mindful of that. And I wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for their work. So I think we've done a good job there. Mindful of just the mental strain a season puts on a team and players and coaches alike. And so we try, obviously we have the built-in Sundays off, which has actually been a real nice thing, quite frankly. So we try to sprinkle in other days off where people don't get, run down and things like that, and try to keep everything fresh. So the 20-game gauntlet, it is a gauntlet because it's just a level of intensity in each game. I mean, that's one of the big differences of NBA regular season to college regular season is, there's very few nights where it's not just going to be a dogfight. In the NBA, you get cupcake games all the time because guys are on back-to-back, this, that, the other. There's so many variations of what each game looks like, whereas in this, it's, if you don't bring it, you're going to get smacked.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it, guys.